What's good, Rocket Nation? Abin, we're back for another OU battle, and yes, finally we got a brand new OU team here today. This team, this team is so different than the last team we used. I built this team as part of the Rock HQ YouTube series, the team building video series. So if you go to the main channel under playlists where you see all the tiers, you also see a playlist called Team Building, which is designed to show you all my team building process, help you become better team builders. But it's also interactive, so you can help me become a better team builder. So if you want to know the exact EV spreads, the reason we use certain things, because almost every single one of these pokes is a custom EV spread, check out that video. It's in two parts. Those links will be in the description. So yeah, this team, it's kind of challenging to use. I've used this team a lot. Thus far, you're going to be seeing a lot of this team. I'm very, very excited to use this team now. It's a definitive challenge. The last team was a lot more powerful, I'll call it. Relied on some in my opinion, took very powerful Pokemon, gave them unique sets. It was a very, very powerful team that also had the surprise factor. This team requires a lot more to work well. It puts a lot more pressure on the skill of the player versus the skill of the team builder. It's almost comparable to a Trick Room team. This is a speed-controlled team. It's based around the idea that Jolteon there is nicknamed Chrome Hunter in honor of Taboo Hunter and Chromie. And Jolteon I picked because I realized that the thing stopped Mega Pinsir. Being resisting the quick attack and killing with T-Bolt. So my thought process was, all right, what does Mega Pinsir destroy that I can remove with Jolteon? The answer is Mega Heracross. So this is a speed control team. Jolteon actually doesn't have Volt Switch. It has Agility Baton Pass. And then we have Tailwind on Skarmory and T-Wave and Iron Ball Trick on Meowstic. So this team is designed to slow things down so that Heatran, actually offensive choice specs Heatran and Mega Heracross can sweep. That is the basis of the team. So I'm not going to lie to all of you, it's been a real challenge using this team, but it's been really fun. It's been interesting they're two very different teams, so switching from one Y to the other has been interesting. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's some pokes you never see in OU singles. Meowstic, I didn't even know what that thing's back sprite looked like when it wasn't in the double battle. So yeah, I think this is a very unique OU team. Only half of it's OU, I believe. But I'm going to be using this team a lot. Stay tuned. Leave your suggestions. But I'm really enjoying this team. It's definitely making me a better player. I'm having some really interesting battles. Looking at my opponent's team, we see some pretty interesting mons as well. Let's go and get into the battle, though, without any further ado. And everyone, if you like this video, please do leave a like, leave a dislike, however you feel about it. Leave a comment. It helps Rock HQ grow, helps us get more grunts into the Rocketeer system. And if you leave an insightful competitive comment, you can even get points in the Rocketeer system. So check out all the information down below in the Google Drive, the link down below if you want to know more about ranking up. So I don't know why I did this, to be honest. I don't think my head was in the best place. I led with Chansey, even though it was painfully obvious my opponent would lead with Galvantula. I don't really have anything perfect for Galvantula. I went for the Seismic Toss just to break the sash that it probably had. I've seen some people not want sashes, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Here I actually switched into Skarmory. Obviously, I've got Defog. Honestly, a really risky switch, because if they went for Thunder, it would have annihilated my Skarmory. So here I could have gone for a Defog, but I was also afraid of Spore. But I'm slower anyway, so I think honestly I probably should have just gone straight for a Defog. It was okay that I went for a Brave Bird, in case my opponent stayed in. But the problem here is that I should have switched out. And this began the pattern I was noticing with this team. I've actually never used Skarm Bliss, or in this case Skarm Chance, before as a defensive core. I'm playing way too loose with this Skarmory. I actually don't have a lot of experience even using Skarmory. I play against them frequently. I don't really use them much myself. But I leave it in here. I go for the Defog when I really should have switched into Chansey. I had no reason not to do that. And so, I mean, Mega Ampharos is insanely especially powerful. Super effective T-Ball, there was no doubt I was going to get O-Code. So that was a huge mistake already because I needed Skarmory to deal with me and Shao. So already off to kind of a bad start. It's basically just foddered my Skarmory. Here I really disagree with my opponent's play. My opponent definitely should have gone into the Bug. Just because I don't have Defog anymore. There's no reason they shouldn't have gone right into Galvantula and get Sticky Web up as early as humanly possible. Obviously, I've lost Skarmory, so I have nothing to fodder or to bring in on this Meowstic anymore. I do have a decent defense investment there. My opponent makes an excellent play. Predicting my switch out, they go for the U-turn. Does tons of damage to Meowstic, so that puts me in a very, very poor situation. They go ahead and they bring in the Mandibuzz. I don't really want to stay in with my Weoustic. I decide to go ahead and switch out. I believe I pull into my Heracross because there's really nothing this thing can do. Actually, no, I go into my Jolteon. I'm sorry. So here I'm predicting probably Defog, which is what my opponent does in fact go for. I'm kind of rethinking this Jolteon because originally I thought I would be agility baton passing a lot, but I actually haven't done it once in the 10 or so battles I've already had with this team. So I'm debating replacing baton pass with Volt Switch and just taking rid of agility and giving this thing T-Wave. So I have 2 T-Wavers on the team. Here I do go for baton pass. You'll see that's an example where having that extra damage with Volt Switch would have been nice. So I do decide to go into my own Heatran, knowing this thing can't really touch me. I am a Choice Specs Heatran. Most people don't see the offensive Heatran coming. They don't expect it to do as much damage as it will. Here my opponent makes, in my opinion, a significant misplay, and they actually fodder their Galvantula. Again, my defog is gone. There's no reason to fodder this thing. I've done a poor job of keeping offensive pressure up, so they really had a decent chance to bring that thing in safely, in my opinion. But they do fodder it, and now they bring in the Mean Shell. Obviously, something in my team has got to take a hit at this point. I choose Mega Heracross because I'm predicting the fighting type move, which I do have decent HP investment. Because this is a speed control team, I don't need to run max speed, so I have exact EVs while I'll outspeed anything when they're at -2 or I'm at +2, and the rest is all HP, so I have decent bulk. You actually went for the close combat because I knew it would kill. I have Moxie, which is why I have not yet Mega Evolved. So I do go for the close combat here, and unfortunately it actually surprisingly doesn't kill the Ampharos. It brings it down to like literally 1 HP, I believe my opponent said. So here I could go for an Earthquake. I could go for a second close combat, maybe try and bluff a Scarf. I went for Earthquake in case my opponent wanted to switch it up. So there I do get my Moxie boost. And here I think I make a definitive misplay. So you see now I'm at +1 attack. My opponent brings in Mandibuzz, and I switch out. I don't know why. At +1, and if I Mega Evolved, Pin Missile could probably take this thing out from that range of health. What's really surprising is my opponent, I don't think, realized I was Mega, because it was, honestly, it was the wrong move for me to switch. They shouldn't have predicted me to switch out, but they actually go for knockoff and catch my Heatran and knock off my Choice Specs, which is hugely detrimental to me. Actually caught me a little off guard. Most of the Mandibuzz I see these days carry Foul Play, not knockoff, and I'm the only one I've ever seen run both of those in one set, and that was an Assault Vest Mandibuzz. So here I see just how much speed control my opponent's running. They actually have Tailwind on their team as well, so they're going by speed control using the Sticky Web method. Something I've thought about, I'm just not comfortable with. I feel like Sticky Web isn't that good in the meta anymore. Most skilled players know how to counter it. And here you'll see a prime example of why I should have stayed in the previous time I had Mega Heracross in here. Because I'm going to go ahead and Mega, and you see my opponent's at full HP now. And I go ahead and go for the Pin Missile. And obviously, like, there's nothing this Mandibuzz can do. I have very few Mandibuzz carry Brave Bird. Even my Assault Vest one had U-Turn, Snarl, Knockoff, and Foul Play, not Brave Bird. So here I go for the Pin Missile, and keep in mind this is, I get a few crits. I think my first 2 hits are actually critical hits. And so you figure that it's comparable damage to how much I would have done at +1. And you see that I nearly take this thing out. And last time it was at slightly less than full HP, so me switching out was a complete and utter misplay. Nothing on his team really wanted to take a Pin Missile from a Heracross at +1, so that's one thing I've learned about this team already. With that one base 85 attack, just go for moves. Punish your opponents for switching on Mega Heracross because it does a lot of damage. So here I do go for the second Pin Missile though. They go for Roost, but honestly, they're foddering this thing off. I think I might have just gone for damage because they're not going to accomplish anything, and their Mega Heracross is too powerful. So the Mandibuzz does in fact go down, and they also stalled their own Tailwind out by doing that, which is sort of undesirable. Mean Shell comes back in. I'm very comfortable staying in here because I know it's close combat will Oko. Unfortunately, my opponent does get the Fig Out, which is a little irritating damage I didn't really want on this Mega Heracross. And here they go for Protect. Really weird, in my opinion. I don't know if my opponent has VGC backing or what, but I found it odd that they were just wanting to detect on a singles Mean Shell, to be honest. Close combat would Oko that thing from the range it's at. Here I predict them to switch since they see that I'm going on the offensive. And so I go into my own. I actually go into Chansey here. Obviously, Chansey will wall the crap out of this thing. And I mean, I still probably should have switched in the Heatran, to be 100% honest. But I know that I can probably seismic toss this thing to death, but it depends on the set. I ran the risk of this thing being Resto Chesto, having Roost. I just think that was honestly the wrong play for me to make to go in the chance here. So now my opponent goes into Breloom, and I sort of have to fodder something at this point. The reason that I switched Mega Heracross out on the Mean Shao was because I realized that I needed Mega Heracross to take a Mach Punch from Breloom. So I wanted it at a range of health where I could take a Mach Punch, because I knew that I'd have to fodder something. Like, I would have to break Breloom's, actually not even break Breloom's Sash. I'd have to take a Mach Punch though and then kill it with Pin Missile. So here, surprisingly, my opponent is actually a Power Punch variant. I've never seen that before. Kind of cool with Technician. Here I bring in Mega Hera. Obviously they're at +2 now, something I didn't originally anticipate them being at. So they do go for the Mach Punch, but you'll see I have a lot of HP investment, so I do live. I'm able to go for a close combat now just because, why not? In case they switch, it would do massive damage to something. In case they want to bring in the Mean Shao, predicting Pin Missile, I just went for the close combat. Would have done massive damage to anything. I think Earthquake might have actually been safer, to be honest. Here they bring in the Mean Shao. Now I know a Fake Out's coming. I don't have a desire to take a Fake Out. In the back of my mind, I was debating if my opponent would actually go for U-Turn or Knockoff or something besides Fake Out because the switch was so obvious. They do actually go for something else, so a good play in my opinion. I could have stayed in though and maybe barely lived that and killed them. But I actually go into Meowstic, and the reason I do that, and the reason I love Meowstic on this team, it's a last measure of speed control. This thing can come in, I can fodder this thing, so I can bring it in, go for a Prankster T-Wave, and then ensure that whatever sweeper I have left is faster than my opponent. So that's why I love using this thing. That was my plan, to slow down the Mean Shao so the Heracross would outspeed it. Fortunately, it does not work out as they switch into Volcarona and have a Lumberry. So I decided to go right back out into my Heatran, predicting probably a Bug Buzz or a Quiver Dance, or probably a Bug Buzz because they don't want to be paralyzed. Heatran obviously eats that up. So here I decided to just go for an Ancient Power. It was a little risky in case they switched in their Mean Shao, but I could always fodder one of the sweepers I don't need. So I do actually go for the Ancient Power because I outspeed, and remember they knocked off my choice item. I was hoping to get the Speedways so I could try and outspeed this Mean Shao, then just go for a Flamethrower on it. Unfortunately, that does not happen, but I still have in the back Mean Shao and Mega Heracross. So now I can go into my, did I say Mean Shao? I meant to say Meowstic. So this is why I love using Meowstic on this team. I just think it's so cool to see a Meowstic in OU singles, because again, I can save it, bring it in at a position just like this, go for T-Wave, slow them down, and then kill them. So now this thing is slow. It happens to get paralyzed. I almost didn't want them to get paralyzed because I wanted to show off how that would work with Mega Heracross, but they do get paralyzed and I kill with Psychic. It really didn't matter. If they broke through the paralyze and killed me, again, I had Mega Heracross, who is EV'd to outspeed Mega Magnetric at -2. So it would have definitely outsped that non-scarfed Mean Shao at -2. So that's actually the first battle I've ever had with this team. It was nice that the first battle could be a win. Let me know your thoughts on this team. In particular, what do you think of this Jolteon? Again, this is a speed control team. I feel like right now Jolteon might be the weakest link. It's got great offensive typing with that Ice and Electric as an HP Ice and T-Bolt. But I just haven't used Agility Baton Pass ever. I'm wondering if maybe Volt Switch T-Wave would be better, to be totally honest. And let me know if there's any other speed things you think I should look at. I don't think Trick Room would work well on this team, nor do I think that Sticky Web is particularly effective. But let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you enjoy this team. It's a lot different than the last team I used, and I'm really enjoying using it. It's a fun challenge. It puts a lot of pressure on me to make really, really good plays as a player because this team isn't as powerful. You need to use it effectively. But it's a really fun team. You don't get to see Mega Heracross very often, so I'm going to be using this team a bunch. I'm hoping to kind of master this team to get into a rhythm. Like I said, my last team was very, very easy for me to pick up and use very effectively because of the team building creativity that went into it. This team is a fine-tuned machine. You kind of need to, it requires a little bit more skill to use. So I'm excited for the challenge of this team, and I hope that I can master this team in time as well. But let me know if you like this video. Leave a like or dislike. Be sure to leave a comment. Remember, you can get points in the Rocket tier system if you leave an insightful, thoughtful, competitive comment on this video. And don't forget, people, the Rocket tier system is live right now. You can be ranking up in Team Rocket. And the Gym Leader Challenge is live right now. You can be challenging the gym leaders as we speak. Links to the Google Drive down below. If you want to battle us or rank up in Team Rocket, be sure you follow us on Twitch. That's where all the ranking up happens. It's where the Rocket tier system lives. And it's where all these awesome battles happen. So you're going to be seeing all the battles from all the streams. But if you want to see them live or for a chance to battle us, be sure you check out the stream. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us here at Rocket HQ. Rocket Nation, this is Abinumber signing off. Have a good one.